Hi, I'm Brian Holt, and I'm a Principal Program Manager at Microsoft. Databases power everything around us. Most developers eventually hit a point where they need to really understand a database, not just copy-paste a connection string. In this course, we'll take you through Postgres, MongoDB, Neo4j, Redis, and DuckDB with real examples, real queries, and honest advice. Choose the right database for your next app. So you can still run select star from users. The problem with this is that now, when you do this, this is going to select every single user in your database. We have 350, which, the grand scheme of things is, that's not that big. But if you're Facebook, that's going to be 1 billion, right? I think they have 1 billion users now. So don't do that is probably my plea for you. Let's actually scope that down to be something like this. So limit 10. As you might imagine, much smaller, much more manageable. So 10 users here. These are all generated. So if any of these names are not something that you would like, I did not write them. They were randomly generated. Okay. So if you hit Q, you'll get out of that. Let's talk about star here for just a second, the wildcard. I imagine most of you probably have gathered what that means. It just means select all columns, right? I don't want to tell you which columns I want. I want to just select everything that's in the table. This is great for just what we're doing now, which is just exploring and kind of poking at data. If you're actually writing code that pulls from the database, I would invite you to explicitly name the columns that you want to pull out. It's good for a variety of reasons. It's kind of self-documenting the fact of here's what I expect back. If one of those columns is not there, then it's going to fail the query, which will then fail and probably get picked up by your Datadog or Sentry or whatever. That's positive, I think. Fail loudly, fail quickly. And you're also reducing how much data is going across the wire. So if you have egress and ingress costs, that's going to be saved as well. It's just beneficial to name your columns. Which is called projection. Not that you ever need to really care what that term actually is, but that's what it's called, naming your columns, which would be something like this: username, user ID from users. And now you can see, rather than getting everything that we had before, we are just getting blah. Make sense? And I guess projection is where you start doing as ID or as UN or something like that. Now you're actually projecting these into different names, right? As opposed to just being username and user ID. This ends up being useful, particularly when you start doing joins and you start having lots of columns. You can make things much more easy to see. Give it a better name than UN, but that's why you would do that. Good so far? All right. Again, probably most of this you've probably seen before. This is kind of the intro to SQL. Let's try and find some specific records. So let's do some where. We're going to say, we'll just keep that down here. Select username, email, user ID from users, where user ID equals anything less than 101. I think 101 is the absolute last user in the database. So 87 or something like that, or 67 for the kids out there. Let's just go ahead and copy and paste this one. And you'll see here, update 1. The first one is going to be your filter, so the ones that you were looking for. So type dog, name Luna, breed Havanese, and then we're going to find all of those. We're going to find one because we were specifying just do the first one you find. As you might imagine, that's what update 1 does. It finds just the first one and it does it there. And then we're going to be setting one to be the owner is Brian Holt. Again, remember we have not run any sort of alter table here. This is just going to work because this is a document-based database. So you can see here matched 1, modified count 1, all that kind of stuff. All good. Let's go ahead and update many at a time. That might be fun. db.pets. The other cool thing about this is because it's all just JavaScript, it can autocomplete. Update many. I think it even will let you. Yeah, it will let you like autocomplete on fields as well. Type dog. Let's say like it's International Dog Birthday Day, because that's definitely a thing, and all of them have their birthday. We want to increase all of their ages by 1. So we're going to do $increment, and we're going to do age:1, and just do that. So we updated 2501, and each one of them had their birthday. Happy birthday, dogs everywhere. As you can see, that first picture I chose of Luna in the first part of the course was intentional. Happy birthday, dogs everywhere. All right, that was updating Mongo. Okay. So update 1. There we go. Update operators, min, max, increment, current date, set on, insert. There's a bunch of them. We're not going to worry about. Unset is maybe a good one to know, like if you want to like remove a field from something. All good things to know. Let's go talk about upserts, because those are everyone's favorite things. That's going to be update if something exists, and insert if it doesn't. Let's do one for another one of my favorite dogs, which is Sarah Drasner, who's another teacher on Frontend Masters, has a dog named Pseudo, and Pseudo is an absolute delight. So we're going to go in here and say db dog Pseudo. Pseudo is a Wheaton, and we're going to set, and this is going to say upsert. So that's going to say if you find something that matches this query, then update it. And then this is going to end up being the object if it doesn't exist, or if it does, it'll update everything to match this as well. Okay. So upserted count here is 1. So we didn't match anything, so this should tell you that we will end up inserting pseudo as a row. So we are playing this a bit fast and lazy, as I am wont to do. We should make sure that we're querying for a unique object based on some sort of unique key, blah, blah, blah. But that's for someone else to do, because I don't want to do it right now. But yes, make sure you're updating a whole object, because if that object does not exist, what you have put here is going to be the whole object. So make sure you have a complete object if you're going to do an upsert. If you want to create an array here or a list, so now I have a thing called notifications for BT Holt, call your mom, feed the dog, take out the trash. And we can do an L range here, which will give me everything back from the list. R push is push from the right? So I'm pushing everything on. So right would be take out trash. And I'm pretty sure if you do L push, let's just do one mark here. And well, that's not going to give anything. But I meant to do L push here rather. Okay, and then if I did the same thing here, L range, you would get it in the reverse order. My favorite dumb name of a JavaScript function, there's a few, but definitely one of my favorites is unset, which is like what L push is here. It's push from the left, right? Or NQ would actually probably be a better name for it, but we call it unset. Isn't it unset? Or am I unshift? Thank you. It's even worse than that. Unshift. Because shift is get one off the front. So like, oh, what's the opposite of shifting something? Unshifting it. Makes total sense to me. And then you can certainly rpop this as well. Rpop, notifications, BT Holt. Take out the trash. Hashes. This is like a little key value inside of here. So hset, I have BT Holt with his profile, title is Principal Program Manager, company is Microsoft, city is Seattle, so on and so forth. Hget is BT Holt, profile, city, and hgetAll would give you everything. BT Holt, profile. So there you go. You can do sets, sad, that's my favorite one. Colors, red, blue, green, yellow. And then members. That's how you pronounce it, by the way. I will not accept S members or set members, it's members. And then sysmember, colors, green. And you could do the same with gold, and you would get 0. And pop, colors. This will just remove and return a random element. Don't know why you would do that, but it is there. As you're probably guessing here, 1 and 0 represent true and false, right? That's how they internally represent it. Let's go grab, there's also sorted sets as well. Let's just do all of these. Yes, paste. So Z is for sorted set. And then I did this with the ordinals is the name of the value or the name of the key. This is the priority, right, of where it's going to sit. And then I added a few of them here. And so this ordinals give me everything until the end, which is what the -1 represents. And then you can see here it goes first, second, third, 10th, despite the fact that I added these in different orders. So it gives you everything from the lowest to the highest. So small note on JSON here, most of what you would use JSON is covered by the other data types. If you're not actually doing any sort of operation, I would not represent it as a hash. I would represent it as just a string, right? Because most of the time I'm not doing any operations on the JSON string itself. I'm just storing a bunch of stuff in there that I want back later. So I would use the, there's a JSON data type as well, but just use that if you're actually going to be accessing things in the JSON, right? Because there's more overhead, there's more compute associated with it. Most of the time you actually just want a string, right? So that's just a suggestion I have for you. I think that's actually their recommendation as well.